Hi class, for this module we want to talk about the rational expression. So when it's come to rational expression, the first thing you want to do is you want to factor completely. So for number one, to simplify, as you can see, 2 minus 3u and 3u minus 2, they are the opposite. So if I factor out negative 1, I will end up with a negative 2 plus 3u, which is exactly like the bottom, 3u minus 2. So I can just cancel it. I can just simplify it. So this is negative 1. Now, as you can see that this 2u plus 7 and 7 plus 2u are exactly the same. So when you simplify, you get 1. So like I said, the first thing you need to do to simplify rational expression is you need to factor completely. So on the bottom, we have u minus 6. U minus 6. If you want to write u minus 6 squared, that's correct as well. So I have 1 over u minus 6. For this problem, I want to remind you that some people forgot to put the 1 on top, and that's very important. If you don't have number 1 in the numerator, that means you have a complete different answer. So keep that in mind. All right, so for number 4, I'm gonna multiply. I'm gonna take out negative 2. So I ended up with y squared minus 25. And then on the bottom, we have y minus 5, y plus 2. Now you see that on top, I still have to take out y plus 5 and y minus 5. This is the conjugate. So if you didn't take out the negative 2 and you took out just positive 2, then you wouldn't have y squared minus 25. So make sure you take out the negative 2. So final answer is going to be negative 2 y plus 5 over y plus 2. All right, so to multiply is exactly the same. So first we want to factor completely. All right, and then I can just simplify top and bottom. So my final answer is going to be x minus 1 over, don't forget the constant. I tend to forget the constant when I try to simplify any rational problems. I want to go over this problem not just because it's a tough multiplication problem. It's tough only because the factoring part is a little bit harder. So if you know how to factor really well, all of these numbers are going to be super easy to you. So 9x squared minus 4, when you factor, it's going to be 3x minus 2 and 3x plus 2. And then we have on the bottom. So on the bottom, you can see that we have 5 for A. So I'm going to go and use the AC method. You can use any method that you want. I'm using the AC method. So 5, first I'm going to take 5 times negative 14. So that's going to be negative 70. I put negative 3 here. So I pick two numbers. When you multiply, you get negative 70, and when you add, you get negative 3. So my two numbers I want to pick is going to be 7, 10. So negative 10. All right, then I'm going to use this method that I use for factoring. So I'm going to take 5, which is this 5 right here, and divide these two numbers. And then you have to reduce it. It's very important for you to reduce. So now I'm ready to write my answer, which is 5x plus 7 and I have x minus 2. Okay, so for this one, it's going to be 3x minus 2, and on the bottom, we have 3x minus 2. Okay, now I'm ready to simplify. So 3x minus 2, 3x minus 2, x minus 2, x minus 2. So we have 3x plus 2. Don't forget number 3 in front. And then I have 5x plus 7. So that's going to be the answer, the final answer. Make sure your final answer, you cannot simplify any further. That's when you know that we're done. All right, moving on to number 9. Same thing. I'm just going to simply just factor first. So x plus 3, x plus 1. On the bottom, we have x minus 3, x minus 1. And then don't forget, when you divide, you multiply by the reciprocal, x plus 3. So then I can just cancel that, cancel this. So my final answer is going to be 3, x plus 1 over x minus 3. All right, so moving on to number 10, same thing, right? Like I mentioned earlier, this problem is probably a little bit harder only because the factoring is harder. The factoring part is harder. So we have 3x plus 2 and then 3x minus 2. And then earlier we know that factor. I'm going to just copy it, which is 5x plus 7 and x minus 2. And then we multiply by 3, x minus 2. On the bottom, we have 3x minus 2. So cancel, 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 cancel. I ended up with 3x plus 2. On the bottom, we have 5x plus 7. All right, so division, multiplication, quite simple. When it's come to addition and subtraction, what we need is the LCD. And I'm going to show you my way. So you look at the denominator. We're going to look for something that's missing. So for example, 2y here. We are missing, you see they share the y. But for this one, we're missing the number 5. So I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 5. And then for this one, we're missing a 2. That 2. So now I have the LCD, which is 10y. All right, so we simplify it. We get 15y minus 10 minus 2y minus 2. Don't forget we have the negative in front, so make sure you distribute the negative. And then I ended up with 13y minus 12 over 10y. Make sure you simplify your answer as much as possible. For this problem, the first thing we need to do is we need to factor completely. So on the bottom, as you can see, we need to factor out the GCF. And then from there, I can figure out what's missing. So you see that they share x minus 5. What's missing for the first one is number 3. And then for the second one is number 2. So now we are ready. So we have 15 x minus 2x plus 4, and on the bottom we have 6 x minus 5. Please do not multiply the denominator, because sometimes you keep it in the factor form and you factor the top. We ended up simplify more. So what I have on the bottom that I can't really simplify for the top. So we are done with this problem. Now for number 17, hopefully you can recognize that the bottom, they are the opposite. So you simply pick one and then multiply top and bottom by -1. So I'm going to pick this one, because if you multiply by -1, you're going to make them into the same, so which is the LCD. So if I multiply, my LCD is going to be 5x minus 4. Okay, so we have 3 plus 6. So the final answer is 9, 5x minus 4. I want to make sure that you are well aware the fact that if, let's say, from the very beginning, and instead of picking the second one to multiply, I pick the first one. So let's say this one, and I pick this one and I multiply by -1. Then I'm gonna have the bottom is 4 minus 5x, which is this one. So I choose this one to turn it into this one. So that's why my LCD is 4 minus 5x. And then the top, I have -9 instead. These two are identical. So either way is good. All right, number 18. The first thing we need to do, like I said, we have to factor. So I'm going to factor first. So 3 times -4 is -12. -4 here. So I need to pick two numbers. I'm going to pick 6 and 2. So how about -6 and +2? I'm going to divide by 3. This 3 right here. So we reduce it. We get -2 over 1. So now I'm ready to write my fraction with in factor form for the denominator. So I have x minus 2 and I have 3x plus 2. Okay, so for this one I have 1 over x minus 2. As you can see, what's missing for this one is the 3x plus 2. Okay, so we have to multiply that one. All right, so I have 2 plus 3x plus 2, and then everything over x minus 2, 3x plus 2. Okay, so we have 3x plus 4 on top, and I have x minus 2, 3x plus 2 on the bottom.